All right, good morning. Benjamin Hatfield, Teach Me to Dive, coming to you live with Jennifer Idle from Avelo. Jennifer is one of my favorite underwater photographers and women in diving anyway. She's a fellow at the Explorers Club and just a super duper awesome woman as well. Jennifer, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It's a busy time here in New Orleans.
That's awesome. How's the show going so far?
Oh, it's crazy. It's great. Everybody kicked off with a bang yesterday. The show opened. I'm here in the Avelo booth. We've got our Avelo systems. We're giving seminars every day at 3 p.m. We had our first seminar on the show floor yesterday at noon, and we've got another one tomorrow at 11 where I'll talk about photography and videography using the Avelo system.
Right on. Well, give us the tour of the booth.
All right. Let's see if I can to give you the tour of the booth here. We've got our boat bench here with the Avelo system. We're showcasing both 10-liter and 8-liter models of our hydro tank. If you're familiar with the Avelo system, this is a new lightweight scuba system that is both safer and offers continuous constant buoyancy throughout your dive, no matter where you are in the water column. So you can go from 0 all the way down to 100 feet and not have to adjust for buoyancy. And the systems here are all real dive systems. They are ready for diving and trying on. People have been trying on the systems. We have our jetpack in the front, and we have our hydro tank in the back. So the hydro tank together with the jetpack makes the Avelo system, which is this lightweight system. In which we have a batter inside a COPV carbon fiber tank that you fill your air with, and then you use the jetpack battery to power a pump, which then puts water into the tank. So we use water to control our buoyancy. Mind-blowing.
That is mind-blowing. That absolutely. Tell us a little bit more about this. Why isn't there a bladder on this?
There's no compressible BCD bladder, which is probably the biggest part of the innovation because it's internal with putting the water inside of the tank. And by not having that compressible volume, it doesn't expand with ascent or compress with depth as you descend. So now you can just go up or down, and there's no compression with your buoyancy control.
That is absolutely amazing. So my question always on this would be, what happens if the battery runs out? You're diving along and no battery.
Then you can't add more water into the system, and nothing changes with your buoyancy. So with a BCD failure, as you know, it's tragic. I mean, it can be very instant. There's very little time. Here you can have 20 minutes of time to make safety stops, complete your ascent and your dive if you're, for whatever reason, unable to add more water to it. But your buoyancy does not change. The only change to it is as you breathe your gas. So you will become a little bit lighter. We're also used to the BCD having a tremendous force on us when we're in the water column. And that means that if you have an emergency, not only do you have little time, but it's a severe change in your buoyancy. With the Avelo system, even when you have a failure in the buoyancy, they're minor changes in buoyancy. You can overcome them, even if you were to lose your buoyancy, because of the neutral properties of the buoyancy system.
That is amazing. Now, talk to me about the weight versus this of a normal BC.
So with a normal standard scuba system, you're carrying about a 75-pound load, and that is significant. With this system, you're carrying a 35-pound load. So
half.
That's half, nearly half. It's huge.
So, and you talked about a 10-liter and an 8-liter tank. How does that translate out into 80 cubic foot, 100 cubic foot, 70 cubic foot tanks?
So our 10-liter tanks, when they are not filled to their total capacity, are equivalent to an aluminum 80, and they're about the same size as an aluminum 80 as well. When they are filled to capacity, they come to closer to a steel 100. So you get a little bit more gas volume in our standard tank. The shorter tanks are more like an aluminum 65 size, and when they are filled to capacity, they are like an aluminum 80 in the capacity size.
So filled to capacity, an 8-liter tank. Now, how much lighter is that than a standard 80 cubic foot aluminum with gear?
Well, our big tank weighs 12 pounds. So as opposed to a 40-pound tank. That's huge.
That is huge. 12 versus 35 to 40 pounds. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Now, I've been watching through the news and watching on social media that it sounds like you guys are making some great strides and picking up a lot of dive centers. Now, how many dive centers do you guys have now?
There are 2 dive centers operating, Catalina Diver Supply in Catalina in California and Dive Friends Bonaire in Bonaire. We are in 2 weeks launching Abyss Scuba Diving in Australia. And then, as you know, we were based in Maui, but we did have the Maui fires. And we are coming back online in January with Maui at a different location because our Avelo Dive Center did suffer tragically.
That is tragic.
And then we are announcing at the show floor today that we have a lot more Avelo Dive Centers coming online next year. We will be launching in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're doing an Avelo tour in Florida. We will be reaching Spain and the Red Sea. So
wow, that is amazing. Yeah. Who is coming on in Florida?
Right now in Florida, we're not announcing any individual dive centers. So we're in the midst of making those launches. You can look for those launch announcements by becoming an Avelo insider, and you can get the news first. On diveavelo.com, we have a newsletter sign up, and you can check in there.
That is awesome. So what's that website again that I need to go to?
Diveavelo.com.
Diveavelo.com. So you heard it here, guys. Go to diveavelo.com and make sure to sign up to become an insider with this a brand new diving system. That's now you guys have been out for 2 years.
Well, we've just for 2 years been allowing anyone in the public to be able to become certified on the Avelo system.
Right on. So what is the process to become certified on an Avelo system?
It's a specialty certification that's a 1-day certification with 2 dives. And we teach you everything you need to know. You alluded to some of the troubleshooting, as you have with any scuba system, how to use it, how to rinse it, how to wear it, how to make the most of it. And all of those things are covered in your specialty certification.
Awesome. Now, so I get the idea that I need a new BC and a new tank, but how about my regulator set? Can I use one of my regular sets that I currently have?
It's a regular DIN regulator set.
Awesome. So I don't have to get rid of the 50 grand in regular sets that I've got hiding in my...
Absolutely not, no.
Get something special. I just need the new back plate and wing and a tank, right?
Yeah. You actually asked about our Avelo dive centers. I have with me Dave Satoski from Catalina Diver Supply.
Dave, tell us about your experience going to Avelo.
So we're the first hub in the country. I started diving back in March. We did our onboarding about the end of October. We have 4 instructors on at the shop now. It's an amazing experience, and we're doing the 1, 2, and 3 day rads, and we'll probably start launching an instructor course program early next year as well. So it's extremely well received. It has the absolute wow effect. So everybody who tries it, the first thing they say is, wow, this thing's amazing. So for a recreational diver, it gives them more bottom time with a lot less weight. The instructor, there's no more rapid ascents, no more sinking, so it's a much safer dive, and it's just got something for everyone, and people are just really enjoying it.
Now, if somebody starts out and going through open water with you in a Avelo system, how does that compare to taking them back to pure open water in a traditional setup?
So I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
So if I send one of my students through an open water course with the Avelo system, how does that compare for them to going back to a traditional setup if they go somewhere else?
You know, it's difficult for me, especially. You don't want to dive anything else than Avelo, right? So once you get the experience of Avelo and you'll really see that it's a lot of things that we've been doing that we don't need to do anymore in scuba diving. And when you have that experience, the last thing I want to do is go back to dive standard. So for a couple of weeks, I do Avelo every day, and then I went just for the hell of it to try to see what it felt like and go standard again. It's like, why am I doing this? So if I don't have to dive standard ever again, I won't. So it does change the experience dramatically.
That's absolutely amazing. Tell us about your dive center in Catalina.
So we were actually established in 1958. We're located in the casino building, which is a historic landmark. We're right at the casino dive park. The dive park was actually established in 1968 So it's been a preserve. It's pristine. It's beautiful. Our visibility can be up to 80 to 100 feet any given time around the year. And it's just a magnificent, beautiful kelp forest. Probably one of the prettiest in the world for sure. People come from all around the world to experience it, and it's now we have Avelo, so it's even that much more amazing.
This show is hopping, Ben. I've got here with me also Dive Friends Bonaire, who is another Avelo dive center.
Fantastic. What was your name again? What was your name? Stephanie. Good to meet you, Stephanie. Tell us about your experience with Avelo.
I've been diving at Dive Friends Bonaire for about 2 years now, and when they brought it to us as an option, I'm usually always team try the new things. And when they explained it to me, I'm a small diver, and the idea of taking some of that weight off of me is something that really, really appealed to me, and making my divers safer. Like, I teach a lot of new kids, I teach a lot of Discover Scuba divers on their very first time underwater. And if I can make their experience better and make them safer while they're doing it, that was something that absolutely appealed to me.
Fantastic. What was the biggest surprise about changing over to Avelo?
I think it was realizing that, I don't know, for me, it was the idea that, like, this is what I think people think scuba diving is supposed to be like, where they don't have to worry about a bubble sending them away. It's not something that non-divers think about. And I can now create the experience that they had in their head with the Avelo system.
That's amazing. Tell us about your dive center.
So our dive center is one of the largest ones on the island of Bonaire. We have 8 dive shops, and then we have 4 more retail locations. We do a lot of introductory dive courses because we've got 2 different pools that we can train in. We also have 2 of our own confined centers. And then we have our fleet of boats. So we can offer shore diving, we do boat diving, we do courses, and now we've got our Avelo system.
That is amazing. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Stephanie. I appreciate you, and it sounds like a very exciting thing. Jennifer, what big surprises can I look for in this coming year with Avelo, other than a ton of new centers?
We're announcing partnerships with Scuba Pro and Shearwater. They're offering a mode called the Avelo mode on their dive computers, where you can boost your dive and calculate your buoyancy.
Really? That'll be amazing. Now, how does that work? Boost your dive and calculate your buoyancy.
So with the Avelo system, there's a number of things that we learned. The system was created by Aviad Kahana with the intent of creating a lightweight scuba system. When he first got into the water with his first kind of imagining an invention, he realized he created an entirely different experience, and that was one related to buoyancy. That's really the amazing advantage. While it's easy to appreciate having lighter weight scuba gear and getting into the water and all the safety that comes with that, by having constant neutral buoyancy, we now can calculate exactly how buoyant you are. We can tell you within a tenth of a degree, are you positively buoyant, negatively buoyant, or perfectly neutrally buoyant in the zone of stable neutral buoyancy. And the new dive computers will tell you just that. Not only that, but we're changing how you read your dive gas. So instead of having to remember 2750 divided by 3 or whatever you need to remember as a number, especially when diving in groups, you can tell somebody I have 50% of my gas remaining, 25% of my gas remaining. It still displays the PSI, so you have an awareness of that, but it also displays it in a percentage. Wow, mind blowing.
You're nice. Absolutely. I love it. I absolutely love it. So this special mode with Scuba Pro and with Shearwater, is that something that I'll have to do a specific update for, or is that just going to be standard in the new, like the Perdix?
I think there will be an update. We just launched that here at the show with Scuba Pro and Shearwater, so you'll have to connect with them to get details on that. But that is what you can look forward to, along with the expansion of the Avelo system being available all across the globe in more destinations in continental United States. And we are expanding with Avelo Dive Center applications, which are available under the Dive Center tab on diveavelo.com.
That is amazing. Well, Jennifer, thank you for coming on and sharing your booth with us, telling everything about Avelo. Is there anything else we need to know about Avelo today?
Your adventure starts with Avelo.
Fantastic. Jennifer, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. Guys, this is Benjamin Hatfield with Teach Me to Dive. We're at DEMA live. I'm not actually live, but Jennifer is live at DEMA. I'm still live in Idaho. I wish I was in New Orleans with her. Absolutely. But make sure to go to if you're in DEMA or getting ready to go to DEMA, go see Jennifer. She's got some swag I'd be willing to bet if you asked her real nicely. And she'll teach you all about the really super cool Avelo system. This is a pretty amazing thing. 35 pounds versus 70 pounds worth of crap on your back. And as Jennifer and I will tell you, as side mount divers and technical divers, oh my gosh, there's a point. We want to get the dang weight off the rack.
I'm bringing it to Yellowstone this year, Ben.
No way. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, that is really exciting. Oh man. So I'm really looking forward. It looks like I might get to sneak in and get a dive in on Avelo too. So I'm really
You have to get certified.
Okay. Will you certify me?
No.
No. Oh man. Okay.
But you can watch me dive it.
Perfect. I will absolutely watch you dive it. Now, is this a PADI certification? Is this SSI certification? Or is it
an Avelo certification?
An Avelo certification. Okay. Perfect. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much. Again, Benjamin Hatfield, Teach Me to Dive, going live with amazing people like Jennifer Idle, one of my favorite photographers in the world, who is just amazing. And if you haven't reached and looked at her book, you want to tell us about your book real quick?
I'm the first woman to dive all 50 states, and I wrote a book called An American Immersion, in which you can dive into some of those adventures. You can find good places to dive all across the country, everything from freshwater to our rivers, quarries, reservoirs, and of course our oceans. There are so many environments and places to have your own adventures that are beautiful and enjoying through your local diving community.
Now, where do we buy that book?
You can get it on Amazon.
Okay. I always like to ask to make sure you were okay, but make sure to go to Amazon, pick up that book, An American Immersion. Nikki and I keep it on our coffee table, and we show it to everybody that comes in. I'm just waiting for that magic day when Jennifer signs my book.
This summer.
This summer. I'm bringing it with me. It'll be awesome. Jennifer, thank you so much. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.